Today we are going to talk about why your damage sucks so bad inside of Diablo Immortal. You guys been asking me how I am doing millions of damage per second, what is my secret, and there are other players I have seen with around my resonance or close to my resonance, somewhat 3200, 3300 resonance, and not doing more than 500k damage per second. And if we go and take a look at my damage here, the gems does matter, but I will go into them in a sec. So if we go and check out my damage here, that is going to be over 1 million per second. We will hit this to dummy for about 30 seconds. And then I will start talking about why the damage for some players are so bad. What are the things you can do to increase your damage per second inside of Diablo Immortal? It can be with any class. So we will be stopping soon here. There we go. You can see I'm over 1.2 million damage per second. Let's go to the breakdown. The first thing that we can learn from this breakdown is the skill that was doing the most damage for us was our primary skill. In fact, primary ended up dealing 50% of the damage. While other skills did some damage, they were nowhere near to what we did with the primary skill, and that is the case for most classes out there, if not all the classes. I have talked about this many times before, but there were some players out there used to make fun of me, saying that primary doesn't do all that much damage and skill is what makes you do more damage inside of Diablo Immortal. In fact, there was this one player who was insulting me to the point that he went on a YouTube and made a video that his skills are doing more damage than his wizard primary skill, and he was using electrocute for a single target build and then claiming that it isn't great and he should be focusing on the skills because that is where the most damage comes in from. That is one of the reasons we have so much misinformation out there. People like that claiming that the primary doesn't do all that much damage, but now thanks to this training ground test dummy, we can see the breakdown here that the primary is one of the strongest damage dealing skill for all classes out there, and you should be using some modifiers, some essences for your primary to increase its damage, maybe add some effects to it, or even increase its attack speed. It is just going to give you more damage compared to anything else inside of Diablo Immortal. At least that is the case right now. But that is not all. There is one more thing I want to talk about that a lot of players just negate, avoid, and try to focus on the combat rating rather than the attributes that the equipment give you, and more specifically the magic attributes. Having more critical hit chance is extremely important, and I will show you guys this in a sec here. For example, let's see. This piece of equipment has a lot more combat rating for me, but this is missing the critical hit chance. But if we were to compare the magic, we only losing 3% critical hit chance and gaining 4% skill damage, and somewhat losing about 1.5% critical hit damage, but gaining a lot of combat rating. And so if I were to equip this on, they are both same essences, so nothing will change, the build will remain same. And now we have more combat rating, we have more skill damage, but we lost that 3% critical hit chance. And so if I were to try that out now, let's reset this and start hitting the dummy for next 30 seconds, that 3% CC reduction is going to make a difference in damage per second. Let's keep going for a bit more here. Couple of more seconds. There we go. You can see I'm now at somewhat 1.1 million damage per second. There could be some margin of error, that is totally fine, but we can clearly see that we are doing less damage now just because we end up losing 3% critical hit chance, even though we gain some skill damage and end up losing some critical hit damage. But having more critical hit chance is really important and one of the best way to increase your damage output. But you guys will also have to focus on your armor penetration. If your armor penetration is low and you have high critical hit chance, that is still going to be good, but you won't see those big numbers. You will see those big numbers when you will have higher armor penetration. Your critical damage numbers will be increased the more armor penetration you have. So try and work on your armor penetration and also try and hit at least 25% critical hit chance. That is usually what I try and stay at. So we are going to equip this back, and you can see I have 25% critical hit chance. On the top of that, my skills have another 10% critical hit chance from the focus stance, and we have it rank 10 mother lemon that also gives us 32% critical hit chance. This is huge. And on the top of that, we are also using a weaver Paragon tree that gives us another 6.5% critical hit chance. So there are a lot of players out there who are just straight out negating the critical hit chance and focusing on the combat rating. Another thing, like I said, we have to focus on the priming attack as well. That is one of the biggest damage dealing skill. You can even increase the damage for your primary attack a bit more, having attack speed from your family bonus, and then you can also add some more primary attack damage. This is just going to make you do more damage in PvE. Even in PvP it will be good because your primary attack does not have any cooldown. It's always firing, and you can increase the attack speed of your primary and end up dealing more damage. But anyhow, I'm going to end this video right now. I might do a part 2 of the same video where I will talk about having 2-star legendary gems that is going to give you more damage per second compared to having 5-star legendary gem setup. And so I'm signing off. You guys have a great day, and I see you in the next one. Later.